Good morning, this is another session on psychology, and in this video we will be discussing about what are the different types of mental illness. Okay, so we'll be discussing about them, and also we'll be trying to understand as to what happens in these situations. So the most important mental illness is the anxiety disorders. Now what happens is that people with anxiety disorders respond to certain situations with a lot of fear. Okay, they become very tensed. Okay, there are a lot of physical signs also, like for example your heartbeat starts increasing, or you start sweating, and all these kind of things happen. Or you sometimes feel your saliva, you gulp your saliva or something like that. So again, uh, so that is what anxiety disorders are. Again, anxiety disorders can be of different types. For example, generalized anxiety can be there. A person is generally anxiety, and he's um, anxiety. The anxiety is about everything. So that is generalized anxiety disorder. Now another can be social anxiety disorder, that is fear with people or interacting with people. So that can be another disorder which happens. And then of course it's another anxiety disorders is phobias, that is some specific phobia. Now another type of, so first one is the anxiety disorders. Okay, the first one are the anxiety disorders, in which we discussed about general anxiety, phobias, and social anxiety. Then the next one is the mood disorders. Now the mood disorders are again, it's like a persistent feeling of a mood. So there can be a persistent feeling of sadness, for example, and or there can be a persistent feeling of happiness, or there can be fluctuations. So that is another disorder. So the first one is the anxiety disorders, and then we come to mood disorders. In mood disorders, again, as I told, the mood is either too good or too bad, and that's why we have something called as the bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorders are a disorder in which the person either becomes very happy or becomes extremely sad. And again, depression is also a mood disorder. Okay, so again, first is the anxiety disorders, in which the person is fearful. Then we have the mood disorders. Okay, then there is called something as the psychotic disorders. Again, psychotic disorders is more to do with you know people who hallucinate, who see images that do not exist. They hear voices which are not present, and this is commonly found in schizophrenic. Okay, people who are having schizophrenia, they have this kind of a psychotic disorder. Now other mental illness can be eating disorders. Okay, another one can be impulse control and addiction disorders. Then there can be personality disorders, obsessive compulsive disorders, and post traumatic stress disorders. So these are the other type of disorders which are also present. For example, in the eating disorders, the person have involved in extreme emotional attitudes. Okay, and which leads to either overeating or not eating at all. So that is one of the eating disorders. Then another is the impulse control and addiction disorders, in which the people are very impulsive and are unable to resist their urges, impulses, and things like that. As the name itself suggests, that these people are impulsive. For example, a kleptomaniac who impulsively just wants to steal things, okay, or a gambler. So this is known as the impulse control or addiction disorders. Then we have the personality disorders. That is to do with your personality. There is some problem in your personality, in your behavior. And again, examples includes antisocial personality disorder, obsessive compulsive personality disorder, and paranoid personality disorder. Now what happens in obsessive compulsive disorder? In this, your mind or your thoughts are in a in a fixed pattern. For example, you can do same rituals all again and again. You can do the same routine again and again without having a meaning to it. Okay, you're just stuck with that feeling or with that thought. You have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. So it becomes compulsion. Okay, compulsory to do this. And obsession is that rituals. Okay, the disturbing thoughts are obsessions, and to get out of those obsessions you do some compulsive things, and this is known as the obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, for example, someone is having a fear of germs. Okay, now this is the fear, or this is the obsession. Okay, and the compulsion is that you keep washing your hands again and again. So this is obsessive compulsive disorder. Next, you have the post-traumatic stress disorder, in which the person has gone through a traumatic event in the life, a terrifying event, a physical assault or something like that, which again causes, a lot of stress. So these were some of the personality disorders which are found in people. Hopefully you got information about it. I'll be discussing more in my further videos. Hopefully you got what are the different types of mental illness. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.